All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making the plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. Great eye in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, copies, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to All Sports, All Plays Network. This is your new Friday segment, the Sports Corner. It is myself, Logan Landers, and joining me is my amazing co-host, the man with the nicest beard in all of H-Town. We got Jay McLovin. How's it going, man?
Hey, man, we're doing good, Logan. Ready to bring the spice and the flavor, the caliente today?
Yeah. Hey, I'm with you, man. But, before we get started, we got some sponsors we got to shout out. So I'm going to let you do that. You are the sponsorship guru. Who all we got sponsoring the show today, man?
All right, so today's show is brought to you by Suzanne Paparazzi Jewelry. All products are lead and nickel-based. All products are $5. Special offer for ASAP Sports viewers. Free matching earrings when you buy a necklace. Order now at paparazziaccessories.com. Promo code 160920.
Yeah, hey man, $5 for all that great jewelry. I know the Christmas holidays are coming up, so hey, we might get some traffic over there. We got to get something for the new wife.
That $5 jewelry.
Yeah, man, I feel you. But hey, we got another sponsor as well. Why don't you let the fine people at home know what we got coming up?
So, how would you like a chance to win your very own ASAP Network t-shirt? You ask? I'm going to tell you. Just become the viewer of the month by watching our shows and getting engaged in our shows, by liking our page, commenting our page, following our page. Hell, just do whatever you want to do. Just do something with our page, and you'll probably get a dang t-shirt.
Yeah, look, guys, I know you want this t-shirt. We don't even have a t-shirt. So you guys are going to be exclusive. You're going to be walking around, going to the mall, going to get some dinner in your nice ASAP Sports All Network t-shirts, man. We're going to be jealous. I want y'all to be commenting. I want y'all to be liking, share it to every Facebook group that you are in. We're on YouTube as well. We're broadcasting there as well. Like, comment, share on the page. We're trying to grow here. And, man, we got some great stuff going on today. I know that. We're going to be talking about a lot of some heated debates. We got a couple topics coming up. And also, let me just say shout out to Brandon Herrera. Hello. You said hello to you, Jay.
Hey, what's up, Brandon? Good to have you on today, my brother.
I also said that's a ZZ Top beard that they would be proud of. I agree full-heartedly.
Man. Hey, the wife, I went and got my hair cut today, man, and she's like, oh, my God, your head is so small and your beard is so wide. What the hell? And I'm like, baby, I don't know, man. It's the way God made me. But you know what? I ain't cutting this beard. It took me a long time to grow it, and I ain't cutting it. I ain't cutting it until my beard touches my butt crack hair. When it gets to that point, maybe I'll consider.
Yeah, that you got to get at least some length to it. If it takes that long to grow, you got to keep it around for as long as possible.
I think I'll braid it at some point. If I ever get it long enough, I'm going to braid it. If I can braid it, I think I'll be all right. I don't know how the people at church are going to feel about that.
It's going to be a very big size t-shirt if I win. Hey, you're already in the lead, man. You've got 3 comments on our video so far, so you're already in the lead. Just keep it up, and we'll see what might happen. So, without further ado, let's get into the topics. We have a heck of a show for you guys today. We're going to be talking about 2 of the most insane athletes that have ever walked the face of this planet, honestly. So the debate question we got is, who's the best athlete? Prime time, Neon Deion Sanders, a man who played for the Falcons and the Braves, or the man that everyone knows and fears, Bo Jackson, who played for the KC, Kansas City Royals, as well as the Los Angeles, now Las Vegas Raiders. Heck of a debate. Let me just say that first and foremost, Jay.
Yeah, but I like it.
Yeah, trust me. I love that too, man. Also, shout out to Hot Sauce Sports. I say your boy.
Hey, what's up, Hot Sauce? Is that Alex or Terry? I don't care who it is.
Yeah, I don't say who it is.
Come back on.
Also, our boy Nate. Hey, what's up, Nate? How you doing?
What's up, Nate?
All right, let's get into this, man. So I'm gonna let you kick things off. It's straightforward. Who do you think, before we dive deep into it, who do you think is the better athlete, Deion or Bo Jackson?
This is a hard thing to say, because, and I say it's a hard thing to say because I'm gonna give you my one, I think, but it's so hard because of Bo's career being so short,
right?
Like, you know what I mean? But what he did in that small amount of time was freaking phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go with Bo.
Yeah,
Bo knows who's the best.
Look, look. I'll talk about Bo for a second here. People talk about power backs in the NFL and in college. This guy is like the top prime example of a power back. This dude, we saw what he did to the Boz back in the day. We saw what he's done to every defender when he was at Auburn. This guy, like you said, he didn't play long, but my God, did he ever have an impact? Not just in football as well, but in baseball, he was an absolute stud as well. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the clip time and time again where he broke the bat over his head. That was ridiculous. I do. I'm one of the few that old enough to remember that. Yeah, Bo knows how to crack that bat. Yeah, when I saw him do that, I felt like my head hurt. Right. Look, it's hard to break a bat over your knee, let alone your forehead. So, let's see. Brandon also said Sanders only got to play in the World Series and Super Bowl. He is right. He does have that. So Deion does have more of I'd say like a sports-wide success, but Bo Jackson just kind of revolutionized a lot of areas in like the world. I mean, the whole Tecmo Bowl kind of facade of the 80s and whatnot. He was an absolute menace to everyone who played that back in the day. His jersey is one of the top selling jerseys of all time. I have one. I don't have it with me right now, but I do have a Bo Jackson jersey. As for Deion, being from Atlanta, I know all about Deion. I know what he did for the city, what all he's still doing for the city. He just got named coach at what school was it? He got named head coach
Jackson
State. Jackson State, an HBCU, which is huge for them. Happy for Deion. Going to be a head coach now, so that's awesome.
Absolutely.
But Deion, he did, like I say, he did play in the World Series and the Super Bowl, which is a heck of a feat in of itself. Bo Jackson was
absolutely.
But look, I don't know how we're gonna pick a winner for this one, dude, because it's two separate like entities. For me, Deion had a lot more of a personality and a flair to him that more of like the TV networks would kind of want to recognize, because he's on commercials now. I saw him do like a Subway commercial earlier.
But again, like I said, I think that just because Bo didn't really go that far into it, but how catchy was that Bo's nose every time? Everybody knows that it's like singular, and I think if he would have gone, I think he was on a TV show at one point, he made some guest appearance. He was on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Married with Children. Right, yeah. He was in that movie, The Chamber. I mean, this dude's done some stuff. I mean, I just don't think he necessarily wanted to do it long enough. Kind of like Primetime just took it to another level, but they were both equally. They were both marketable, right? In that sense, it's just Deion stayed with it, and I think Bo kind of went off into other different pursuits,
right?
In terms of what he did. But I'm telling you, man, listen, this man was unfreaking believable. He was an all-star in both sports.
Yeah, Pro Bowler and an MLB All-Star. So, heck of a feat. Our boy Brandon Deion going to be bumping his seat. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot he made a CD too. So he does have that slight edge on him, if you want to give him that.
I mean, the problem with it is, man, is that, like I said, Bo played 4 years in the football realm.
Yep.
And then he went and played 8 years at baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And really, some of those latter years of baseball weren't all that bad because it was after his hip injury. When he had that hip injury in 91, I think he left like around 94 or something like that out of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
But, people don't understand that, is that, that guy kept on playing. Even with the hip injury, he still kept playing baseball. And how much better could he have been had he not hurt himself to the level in which he did?
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up. If that hip injury didn't, hinder him, and we see nowadays that an injury like that would be fixed in 2 weeks, right? But just the way that medicine was back then, it wasn't as advanced as it is now. So while that hindered him the rest of his career, if he was playing, let's just say nowadays, he might have been playing for, 15, 20 years. just because that's how strong he was, and that's how much of a freak athlete he was. I saw earlier he ran like a 4.240 before his during his combine or something insane like that.
They both did track now. Both. I mean, if you look at it, Deion Sanders, the only difference between Deion and Bo is the position in which they played in football. One was a corner, one was a running back, right? I mean, you can make strong cases for both athletes. I mean, they were both in track in college. Bo did the 50-meter and the 100-meter. And I think Deion, I believe, did the triple jumps or something like that, I think. I'm not 100% sure. But I mean, they had their careers. The only two differences is one was a quarterback, one was a running back, and the other one had a longer longevity in his career.
Right.
And unfortunately, that just it's sad, but that's what happened. But I will tell you this: Bo did have the most average yards running back in the day. I mean, that dude was tearing it up. And at one point, if you look at it, because what people don't understand, is that Bo only played 7 weeks in. Like when he started the football season, he didn't start it at week 1. He started every single season at week 7.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? But if you look at his yards, he ranks number 1.
Cool.
And people in 25 to 28 years of age, right?
Mm-hmm.
In 7 weeks, he ranks number 1. He ranks above Barry Sanders. He ranks above Jim Brown. I mean, all of them dudes. He ranks. I mean, look it up. It's a stat. But yeah, he averaged like almost 6 yards per carry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, in that small window, that from week 7 until week 16, he dominated. And that when he was in, he dominated throughout history of football. He's the number 1. I understand Emmitt Smith, has the all time, but he has like how long he played.
Yeah, he played for a lot longer. He played till what was it, like the early 2000s? Also, he played for the Cardinals a little bit.
But it blew my mind because everybody talks about how good Barry Sanders is. Everybody talks about how good Sweetness is and all that. And these are great guys. Hey, you can't take away from them. But what Bo did with the limited amount of time that he had was so much further beyond them. Right. The only thing that hurt Bo, the only reason we're not talking about Bo and we talk about all the other running backs, because he only had a 4-year football span.
Yeah, he was able.
What he did that 4 years transcends him into the. I mean, come on, how do you get into? You got to be special. You got to be special if you're in the NFL Hall of Fame on a 4-year career.
Yeah,
and you only play week 7 to week 16.
Yeah.
Think how hard that must be to do.
And that wasn't even 100% either. Like I said, that hip injury, that wasn't even at his full potential either. Which is,
it blows my mind though that somebody can get the Hall of Fame, somebody can be ranked above. I mean, think about it. When people think of elusiveness, when people think of greatness, everybody has said that if Barry Sanders would have stayed in the league just as long as what Emmitt did, that Barry would have been the all-time leading rusher, right?
Right.
The best dude was better than Barry. In terms of week 7 to week 16, he was putting up more yards per average than Barry was.
Yeah, look, like I said, it's probably one of the biggest what ifs in sports history. What if he didn't get that hip injury? Who knows? But like you said, it's already insane enough that he's in the NFL Hall of Fame with just those few short years. I mean, that's the crazy thing, because you see guys like Frank Gore now, who's going on like his 15th, 16th season. And
man, Frank Gore, I don't know. I think he like LeBron. He found some kind of fountain.
I don't know,
man. This dude's been playing, I think, since almost when I was in high school, and I'm old as dirt. I mean, that's what it seems like. I mean, when he started out in San Francisco, I mean, I don't know how Frank Gore's still going. I mean,
I don't get it.
He's freakish. He really is freak. And I think he's underrated. I think he goes under so many people's radars.
Criminally. Isn't he like third all time in terms of rushing yards, I think?
I believe so, yeah. I mean, if the guy's been playing for like 20 freaking years, he should.
Yeah. Yeah, and let's not forget, didn't he tear, I think, both of his ACLs?
Oh, dude, he's torn up all kinds of stuff, Frank Gore.
Right. But
I remember back in the day when he was like number 1 on my fantasy league team. Now nobody touches him, but
yeah.
I mean, I'm still, but then you go to the other side of the script, right? Mm-hmm. And you go to Deion, and and what Deion has done in his career is outstanding. I mean, he's the only guy that has ever played in a World Series and a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's pretty
I mean,
impressive.
that's pretty hard to do, to play in that and to play in both the world. I mean, that's just one of them. I mean, look, I'm gonna say a couple of things real quick. Sanders is the only man to ever play at both a Super Bowl and a World Series.
Yep.
He's also the only one to ever hit a Major League Baseball home run and score an NFL touchdown in the same.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up. Yeah.
He's also the both one to have a reception and an interception in the Super Bowl. And he's one of 2 players to score an NFL touchdown 6 different ways: interception return, punt return, kick return, receiving, rushing, and fumble recovery.
That's 6.
I mean, the dude, he has 53 interceptions. I mean, hey, like I said, I mean, the guy's freaking amazing, right? It's so hard to compare these two.
It is, because they played different sides of the ball as well. Because Deion was mostly a defensive guy and also a punt and kick returner.
Well, hell,
as you just said there.
Yeah,
But
Deion played defense, offense, kick return. I mean, hell, man, the man
he could do it all.
He was a head coach.
Yeah. Yeah, he could do it all. I will say this. If you put, let's just say hypothetically, if you could put Bo Jackson on the defensive line,
right?
How impressive do you think that would be? I'm curious about that thought.
When you say on the defensive line, what do you mean?
Like, if he was like a Khalil Mack or one of the absolute monsters on the defensive side of the ball, do you think he'd be able to be one of the all-time sack leaders potentially? If he was a defensive
Lord,
stuff?
man. I mean, well, look, no. I'm gonna tell you why.
What's up?
Because Deion don't like to tackle. And for real. That's been the biggest rip on Deion his entire football career. He wants the picks. He wants the deflections, but do not ask this man to tackle. Because he will sidestep and be like, hey, bro, I'm sorry.
That's not me. I'm gonna let someone else get this.
Hey, watch this. Go ahead and get the 6. I'll try to get it when we come back there. If I can't,
He would too. He would get
it. Hey, and so the last thing Deion wants to do is try to go in there and tackle the quarterback. That's the last thing that man wants to. All he wants to do is sit back, wear his neckerchief, wear 4 or 5 chains, and try to pick or try to deflect that ball.
And he did it in style. Let's just say that.
No, he did. I mean, look, he's the only one to really shut down the entire side of the field.
Yeah, Jason,
that's crazy.
How many interceptions would he have if coaches actually threw the ball his way? Woo. Well, that's the thing. They were so scared to throw to him. They were scared because Dallas Cowboys brought him in specifically to shut down one side of the field so that way they could concentrate on the other. And that's the specific reason why they brought his ass in there. And, I mean, and that's what they did. They feared him. And that's why he had 53 picks. But like you said, he has, and I think about that. That means nobody wants to throw your way. That's the ultimate sign of respect. Yeah.
When they don't want to throw your way, that's the ultimate sign of respect. So he don't have to have 100. Those 53 speak volumes just on its own merit.
Yeah. Look, this question is never going to have a right answer, I would say. Both these guys are absolute studs. I would give a slight edge to Deion just because he played a little bit longer. But all due respect to Bo Jackson, absolute stud, and definitely transformed the game, especially into more of a power running, for sure.
If there was one athlete, like if God said, Jay, man, I'm gonna give you one athlete to come back and finish out that career, they got hurt, which one would it be? And I swear, every time it'd be Bo Jackson.
Yep.
Every time. It's so hard too because you know what? I have Bo Jackson and I have Len Bias because Len Bias got robbed. Obviously his drugs got him. But those are probably the 2 people. God darn it! We're not gonna go down that rabbit hole because I can think about 4 or 5 others. But I do think, man, Bo really he just got robbed, man. He has so much more for himself in baseball and football. That dude, if he could have played both at that same level, keep going. I mean, oh God, that would have just been so special.
You could put him up there as one of the greatest of all time, probably, if he was able to stay healthy. You know what I mean? Just in terms of what he could do on the field in both sports. Yeah, you could.
I mean, it's amazing, right? And like I said, it's a shame. It's a shame that it did. It's almost like Bo's like the magical unicorn.
Yeah,
it comes around every once in a while, and it may do everything, but it may not. And how would Deion covering Deion, man? Oh, God, that's like a stalemate. Honestly, that's a stalemate.
Yeah. They would just be all over each other.
We just say, game over. I don't have no more turns left.
Bring back. I'm guessing he means Kirby Puckett for the Twins.
That's what I'm thinking he means.
Yeah. I have a little bit of a deep resentment for Kirby Puckett, as you can see the Braves memorabilia behind me, but that's a different story for a different topic. But yeah, so like I said, I give it the slight edge to Dion, but both these dudes are absolute studs. Let's get on to our next topic, though, Jay.
Yeah.
Who do you think is the most underappreciated NBA Homer of all time? By underappreciated, I mean like underlooked in terms of guy, not like your Michael Jordans, Larry Birds, kind of like guys that kind of fly under the radar, or that people that might not think about. Who is your pick?
Look, I understand where you're coming from, but my pick is and you're gonna be like, no, Jay, that's not what I'm talking about. But when I give you my reasons, you'll understand why I put him as my almost underrated. Okay.
All right, who you got?
I got Dominique Wilkins.
Oh no! You took mine. You were looking on my screen. Jay.
No, really. That's who I got. Because how do you be the human highlight reel and you get left off the top 50?
Yep, you're right.
How is that's a mad ass disrespect.
Look, I think we had the same mindset going into it because Dominique was my pick as well. Because let's not forget, this dude also averaged 30 plus in 2 seasons.
Right.
You know, like the only other person to do that, I think, in the 80s was Jordan.
Right.
And let's not forget that that dunk contest they had in Chicago, where Dominique did get robbed just because they were in Chicago.
Man, look, this dude was. I
love
you too, man, and I'm still waiting on my hot sauce.
Yeah. Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
I don't know if Scotty's underrated though. You know what I mean?
No, Scotty ain't underrated. Because when Scotty left MJ, he didn't do jack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you always hear with Jordan, the first person you think of, all right, Michael Jordan, who's his like right hand man? Scottie Pippen. They're like,
but listen to this. But see, there's the reason why you can't put Scotty in there. I'm telling you, I'm gonna read this again, and I want people to listen because I wrote this out of my notes, and so I don't. He's the human highlight reel. This is what I put in my notes. The human highlight reel. Mm-hmm. He's the most underrated player in basketball because how can you be the human highlight reel and you're left off the original Dream Team and you're not on the 50 greatest players list? Now, last time I checked, Mr. Henderson, Mr. Delusional, okay, Pippen was on the 50, and so was he on the Dream Team. But Neek wasn't. Mm-hmm. But he's a highlight reel. And the man averaged 25 points a game for the majority of his career. Come on, man. You can't be the human highlight. You can't win dunk. You can't do all the things he did and not be on the human and not be in the top 50. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, not Dominique. He's still he's a commentator for the Hawks here in Atlanta. I've talked to him. I've seen him at games a couple times. Said hey to him.
Yeah,
and he's a really cool dude, Freddie. He knows, but he gets no credit.
Don't worry about that comment. Just keep rolling. Don't worry about it. Don't go down that rabbit hole.
We're not going down an
hour with Freddie. They don't call him Mr. Delusional for nothing.
I'm about to say he'll hop on the stream or something. He'll find a way to get here.
Man, he up there selling cars right now. He ain't trying to get. Listen, I just feel like, like you said, I just feel like that guy has been mad disrespected for a long time now, man. Mm-hmm. And I just think it's about time that Neek gets his credit and people stop not recognizing him.
Yeah, I know everyone just whenever you think of Dominique, you think of the dunk, you think of just how flashy he was. But this dude he was a heck of a scorer. Let's not forget in the 80s, the Hawks, they were battling with the Celtics for a while. I mean, the Celtics would always beat them, but they had a heck of a battle. And I mean, you've always heard, Larry Bird, one of the best players of all time, saying that Dominique was a force to guard with. Christian Laettner made the Dream Team. Yeah, right. Let's talk about that, Jason. Christian Laettner made the Dream Team. And yeah, I know he had that.
I'm not going to recognize that comment.
Yeah.
I'm not recognizing Christian freaking Laettner.
Yeah. He had a good college career, but other than that, he didn't do nothing. Let's just go.
But think about it, man. Neek averaged 25 points a game consecutively for 10, but better part of 10 seasons. 13 seasons, somewhere in there. And then he averaged 30 points twice.
Yep.
And you're left, and that's just some small stats, but he's done a lot more for the game.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And to leave him out of the top 50, that's just that's just ridiculous. I don't. Man, that burns me because honestly, that dude has done so much and has so much talent and has put out so much talent. And for them to not recognize that's ridiculous. To me, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. Well, I guess since you stole my pick, I guess let me just I was looking around.
Now you got to go to something else.
Yeah. I did find a guy though who I think a lot of people kind of forget about, and that is Mr. Mitch Richmond.
Yeah, I can see that. He is.
In terms of people don't ever really think of him. You know, you hear the name like
Jordan said that he's the hardest one, or Jordan said that Mitch Richmond was the hardest one that has guarded him.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's think here.
That's a pretty big accolade right there for Jordan to come out and say that, that he was the hardest matchup.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at some of the stats here. He averaged 21 points throughout his career, which is solid. He also had a good 45% field goal percentage as well. And I mean, we all know that 3-point shooting wasn't what it is now, but he shot a solid 38%, which back in the 90s was pretty good. He was part of the Run TMC group back with the Warriors in the early 90s as well.
Right.
And he also played, a little bit later into his career. He played into the early 2000s, just trying to get a ring, of course. But he was also an all-star in 1996 and 97 with the Sacramento Kings at age 31. So he was still doing his thing. He averaged 25 points that year, which was his career high. And he'd already been in the league for, looks like, maybe close to 10 years at that point. So in terms of just consistency, too, because he played a lot of games. I'm looking at all the games he's played here. He just was shy of under 1,000 total for his career. But he played 81 games, 82 games. I'm looking like 77, 78. So this dude was always on the floor, too. And like you said, you brought up a good point with Michael Jordan saying he's one of the toughest guys.
Right.
That's
a big accolade for Jordan to say something like that. I mean, that's pretty something.
Yeah, it is pretty solid. Let's see. Freddie said Elgin Baylor. Yeah, Elgin Baylor, he was a heck of a sharpshooter back in his day. Always one of the guys, I think a lot of the younger, like my generation and whatnot, they don't really think of Elgin Baylor, but I know some basketball history, and I know Elgin Baylor. He was a really good player and one of the first kind of.
What he's saying is he saw Elgin Baylor in Encyclopedia Britannica.
Oh, yeah?
I put out the archives and saw Elgin Baylor.
Yeah.
But no, I just think the reason, Richmond, that is a good pick. I mean, for all that he's done in the NBA and him not to get recognized either, I mean, yeah, I kind of feel that way too. I just, for me, it's neat, but I'm going to put Richmond right there at number 2.
Let's see. Brandon said, is Sean Kemp in the Hall? I don't believe he is.
No, I don't think he has made it into the Hall, not as of yet. I think he's going to get in the Hall eventually, though.
He deserves it. Him and the Glove they're two of the best, along with like Ray Allen and stuff, some of the best supersonics of all time.
I think those guys will get in eventually. It's just not happening right now. But I cannot imagine at some point Sean Kemp not making his way into the Hall of Fame. That guy was awesome. I mean, I've been back in them supersonic days, man. Woo!
Yeah, he was his dunks were, I would say, rival Dominique in terms of just pure force, because he put he would jam it on everyone. There's always that one. I forget who the defender was.
He was like a baby Shaq.
Yeah, he honestly was. Shaq. He really was. It's just that he didn't really get much attention in media because it was in Seattle. It wasn't, Los Angeles. It wasn't in the big market cities. It was, being in Seattle, you're not going to get the kind of press you would if you were in like a New York or an LA or anything like that. But so definitely, we got some good picks. That's all we got for that topic. So like I said, Mitch Richmond, Dominique Wilkins, go watch some of their highlights if y'all haven't recently. You'll see what we're talking about. Let's get back over to some foot. You got something else?
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to do it real quick. Hey, again, this show is brought to you by Suzanne Paparazzi. You can find her stuff at SuzannePaparazziAccessories.com. Promo code 160920. Mention that you're ASAP Sports Viewer.
There we go. $5 for all that amazing jewelry. Y'all be able to get over there. Let them know that we sent you. So we got a little bit of basketball out the way. Let's talk more about some football, because this is our bread and butter, I would say, my dude.
I've been waiting for this topic. I've been thinking about this topic. We talked about this topic a little bit on another show, but there's a few points that we did not make on the other show that a friend of mine who is a Jets fan had brought up to me, and I was like, you know what, that makes absolute sense. And so we're going to bring it on today's show. We're going to talk about it here, and they're just going to have to be jealous that we have to bring up these better points on this show.
There we go. So we're talking about, who do you think had the better prime years, my guy? Do you think Michael Vick or Cam Newton?
Actually, I'll take that back. I thought for some reason I was thinking we were doing the Trevor Lawrence. Never mind.
Oh, hey, no, let's go with it. Let's just go with it.
Yeah, let's just roll with it because that's where my train of thoughts at right now. For some reason, I got him out of order.
Should Trevor Lawrence, if the Jets get the number 1 pick, which is what it's looking like, let's not kid ourselves. If I was Trevor Lawrence, would you rather stay in Clemson for another year and not get drafted to the Jets, hopefully, or pull an Eli Manning and, back in 2004 when he was drafted by the Chargers and basically demand a trade? What would you do?
All right. Now, here's where it gets interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do people want to go play with the Jets, particularly the Jets, whatever? Because it's a rough – you're going into a rough situation. But – 2 things I want you to think about. Number 1, if he goes back to Clemson, gets hurt, if he has a career-ending injury in college, there goes his whole career. And that's number 1. So number 2, I would say come out to New York for one reason and one reason only. Baby, it's all about the money. Think about this. No, don't think about contract money.
No.
That's not what I'm talking about.
You're talking about
market.
Endorsement money, that New York money.
You listen, LA is a market.
Yep.
New York is a market. Miami is a market. If you got a chance to come out to a major market like a New York or an LA, you don't pass that up.
Nah. You
don't pass it up because you're looking at advertising. You're looking at big money market. You're looking at popularity. I mean, there's so much you can do there. And you have to stay there. You have to stay there. But come there, get your marketing, get your reps, get your notoriety, get all that stuff out there. And you can always transfer to another team. Look, you signed a rookie deal. Doesn't mean you got to stay there.
You just got to stay there in the beginning.
They may franchise tag you, but I'll tell you, man, for me, it's all about the money. And I was thinking about that last night, man. Why would you not come out? New York is a good spot to come out to. Yeah, I'd probably rather go to the Giants than the Jets, but still, man, look. With all the endorsements, with all the popularity, with all the hype, with all the, everything that goes along with being in that state, it's not always a bad thing to come out and go to a place like that,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you make a good point because New York is a marketing mogul. I mean, as we've seen over basically just
better than going like Cleveland.
Yeah. Sorry, Baker.
He's going to Cleveland. Man, hey, listen, you out there with the deer, the ice fishing, flannel shirts. Women who have hair on their legs. You don't want to go there. You don't want to go to Cleveland.
Oh, yeah. Trevor's going to get some major endorsement deal. He's going to get the Head and Shoulders. Yeah. He's going to get all that. Because, look, so I call him Sunshine because everyone knows he looks like the dude from Remember the Titans.
Yeah. Now, I do agree with what Herrera is saying here. I do think if I was New York, I would move those picks.
Oh, yeah.
I would move that pick and try to – because, look, Darnold is a good quarterback,
right?
And I think they are invested in him. If they weren't, I don't think they're. I still think they're committed to Darnold. But what they got to do is they got to keep rebuilding this offensive line to give him protection, so he can do what he needs to do to get the ball out where the ball needs to go, and so they can run the ball past the. I mean, it all starts look, with that offensive line, you ain't going nowhere. I don't care how good your field general is. You can go get a Trevor Lawrence if you want, but if you ain't got that offensive line, he still ain't gonna be worth jack crap.
Yeah, that's the thing too.
So, why worry about? I would trade down that number 1. I would try to draft. I would pick me up some offensive weapons or offensive line weapons, and then I would just continue to support Darnold and keep rolling that direction. But if you don't start building that team, and if all you ever do is draft quarterbacks,
nah,
you're not going to go anywhere.
We saw what happened with that for Cleveland. It took them 20 years to get to where they are now, and they finally have a pretty solid quarterback and a good, they made some trades.
It took him a long time to get there.
Right.
And that's not a great quarterback. He's not a bad quarterback.
Right. Because, this is the thing, is that with football, you need a lot more moving pieces. It's not like it's basketball where one guy can drastically change your team. Is Trevor Lawrence the number 1 pick in this draft? Of course. Have we known that for basically the last 2 years? Of course. This dude is
one of two sports where one player can drastically change things. One of them is, like you said, basketball.
Yep, that's one.
And the second one is baseball.
Yep.
AKA Cia Rosarena.
Yeah.
Soto. Look at Soto for the Nationals when he was in the World Series. I mean, the guy was like that, and he changed that whole series. Yeah. Honestly.
I mean, yeah. Same with the Braves too, because most of their guys were draft picks.
Right. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, they did get Ozuna and
They should have won that World Series, by the way. They should have won that NLCS. Yeah. They should have won that.
Look, I wasn't disappointed in that outcome. I'm just numb to it at this point. Let's see. Brandon said #1 for all the Team 2020 draft picks and a #1 next season, like the Saints did for Ricky Williams. That's not. If I'm the Jets, I would easily take that. Yeah. The Jets need a lot of help, and one quarterback isn't going to help them. Because, like you said, we see what's happening with Joe Burrow and Cincy.
Yeah.
Is he a very good quarterback? Yeah. Do I think he's going to be a star in the league? Of course. But he's not going to if he keeps getting killed every week by his offensive line.
Right. And like Brandon, we were talking about Brandon the other night. I mean, Minnesota would not be a bad spot to try to trade up and get, because look, we all know Kirk Cousins ain't the answer in Minnesota.
Nah, he ain't. He's like a placeholder.
Grab a Trevor Lawrence, and give them their first round pick, a second round pick, and maybe a player. I think they would just do okay if they just give them a first round, a second round. That way they can get their offensive tackles and they can trade out of that spot and work on building their line. And they don't, I would probably say 2 first round picks. I would say the first round pick this year and the first round pick next year. For the #1 pick this year, which would give them Trevor Lawrence. And let's be honest, if he's as great as what everybody thinks he is, what I think he is, he's worth 2 #1s.
Yeah.
If they get 4 #1s from Amari Cooper, then they can get 2 #1s for Trevor Lawrence.
Right. Yeah.
And then get behind Cousins and let the team get better around him.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got to put him in the game right away. Let Cousins maybe, just so, while he's getting his feet wet and while they're building up. I mean, go out and get some offensive free. I mean, you already know that Minnesota's in a rebuild. Look, they're getting rid of all their weapons.
Yeah.
They're going straight rebuilding.
And look, if I do like that Minnesota trade scenario you brought up, because could you imagine if both of these guys, project the way we thought they were, Trevor Lawrence to Justin Jefferson or Trevor Lawrence to Adam Thielen if they decide to keep him around?
I mean, you don't even have to give up 2 #1s. You could give up. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now. If you're talking about Trevor Lawrence, you better give him a #1, and you better give him Thielen. Thielen.
Yeah, Thielen. Yeah,
that's like their top wide. Look, you're not going anywhere in a hot minute. You're gonna go through a major ass rebuild, and I'd rather keep my #1 the next year and give up Thielen, right? Because you can always, get you got to address your offensive line.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Where, if you're in rebuild mode, you got to start with that offensive line first. So give up 1 draft pick, give up Thielen for Trevor Lawrence, throw him behind, freaking Cousins for a couple of, just for like 2 years, like 2 drafts, just so they can build up that offensive line and bring in some free agents and start building up that offense to support Trevor Lawrence, and then start working on your defense. I mean, it's gonna be about 4 or 5 years before they really get back into contention, just so they're rebuilding. But man, Trevor Lawrence would be a damn good start.
Yeah, it would be. And look, I know a former NFL player, Bobby Butler, who played with the Falcons for a long time. He always tells me this, and he tells my whole crew at my other show this: wide receivers are replaceable. You can get a wide receiver every draft. Offensive linemen are a lot more harder to find, and you got to be able to draft them good or trade for some.
Yeah, absolutely.
But with wide receivers, they're a dime a dozen. We saw how many got picked this past draft. We saw how many potential superstar wide receivers got packed with, CeeDee Lamb and all those other guys. And,
that Ruggs is a good man. That was a good pickup for the Raiders, honestly. That kid is super fast.
Just those 3 guys alone, people thought were going to be stars in the next couple of years. So you're always going to have
the best wide receiver pickup in that whole draft. That dude is just freaking CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
I still think he was the best rookie pickup for wideout.
So Adam's going nowhere. He's a Minnesota boy. That's up to the team, man. That if it was Adam, I'm sure he would love this. I mean, I don't know him like that. But
if you want to keep Adam and put Jefferson was just as much interest too. So you could throw.
Yeah.
You can.
Jefferson is younger. Yeah, you can interchange them. But if I was the Jets, I would for sure want to get a lot for him, they got to get something going with that offensive line. Their defense is horrible as well. I mean, they gave up, it seems like, everyone on their defense this season, so they got a whole lot to rebuild. And they're going to have a few top 5 picks for the next couple of years. So
I just hate when I see these teams like the Jets,
the Giants too. We're talking about like big market.
I just don't like seeing all these guys bring in these skill set players and not bring in the building blocks.
Right.
Like, I mean, I don't care how many skill set players you got. If you don't have the building blocks to help those skill set players out,
right,
it doesn't make sense.
It ain't gonna work.
Why would you? Why it's like building a table and but not putting the right legs underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just gonna fall.
That's
That's just my biggest pet peeve about the NFL. They always go after the big name players, these sexy picks and all this, but they don't put nowhere near enough emphasis in the building blocks.
Yeah, you got to be able to build that offensive line. You got to be able to build at least a decent defense, and then because you can always draft offensive stars. Is you always see a new guy come into the league and make a splash. It was like Thielen, because a couple years ago with Thielen, no one knew who the heck he was. And then you see him be one of the most consistent wide receivers in the football, right now.
He's like a Will Smith or like an Edelman.
Yeah,
that type of guy. He reminds me.
One of those kind of like sneaky, underrated type of guys that you never heard of. That just
who's underrated, never gets respect is Cole Beasley.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That guy, man, he's so tough. And
is he still with the Bills?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I thought he was.
Yeah, he's on pace again for another 1,000-yard season. I mean, he's
about him.
He's not flashy. He's not this, that, and the other. He's just a small little guy, but he's tough. He's durable, and he's dependable. And he goes across the middle, and he gets the ball every freaking time. He brings that lunch pail to work, and he goes to work. But he's a blue-collar guy. He's not that white creme de la creme, Antonio Brown's head case crap. This is just a small country town kid that will go out there and put up the effort to get that ball to the end zone. And I hate it that players like that don't get the recognition that they deserve, because he did it in Dallas and he's doing it in Buffalo, and it's amazing.
Yeah, he has really one of the most kind of underrated wide receivers in the past probably 10 years. He's been around since, I think, looks like 2012.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he definitely, because he gets targeted a good bit. He's already been targeted, 37 times this season. And then, so he definitely is, he hasn't cracked the 1,000-yard plateau yet. His highest was 833 in Dallas back in 2016. But this last year in Buffalo in 2019, he had 778 with, with 67 catches. So he's always going to be consistent in getting you at least 500 to, maybe even possibly 1,000 yards if things do go his way.
Let's transition into that Cam Newton conversation. I'm ready to go.
Our last topic for the day, unless we just decide to come up with something random, we have who had the better prime years, Cam Newton or Michael Vick? Boy, this is a topic. This is a topic.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna step out and I'm going with Vick.
For what's your reason? What's your reason behind that?
I'm going with Vick because I feel like he has the better speed. He has the better speed, the better IQ, and I feel like he had the better he was the more accurate passer of the two of them.
True.
That's my pick. The plus that I give Cam over Vick is he's a lot bigger guy, and so given his size and his stature, it makes him a little bit more tougher than Vick, Yeah. But outside of the size, I mean, he's just a bigger, Cam is like a bigger version of Vick, really. Mm-hmm. But I definitely take Vick all day.
Brandon takes Vick.
Just like I said, on the elusiveness.
Yeah,
on the elusiveness, the ability to get, to create plays, and then the accuracy in his passing. That's why I go with Vick.
Well, let's talk about that too, because whenever Michael Vick was doing his thing back in the early 2000s, which was his prime, no one was doing that at the time. You had a lot of pocket passes. You didn't have a lot of dual threat quarterbacks. He was one of the first few. Him, Randall Cunningham as well, back with the Eagles back in the day.
Right. But, what people forget about though, is being in terms of being a mobile quarterback, like who kind of started it all, is Warren Moon.
Yeah, Warren. That's one that
people forget about Warren Moon, man.
I know we talk about underrated NBA players, but in terms of NFL players, Warren Moon, he needs a lot more love.
He really does. That guy was phenomenal. Just phenomenal. And Brandon Herrera, you're a Minnesota guy. Yeah. You remember when Moon was passing the ball up there in Minnesota? Because people don't understand. Everybody thinks that, or everybody knows of like Marino and all these other guys, and Breeze and all these guys being the top passers, right? The most passing yards and things like that. But what they don't realize is Warren Moon played in the CFL and this league. I mean, this dude's been passing the ball for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame we can't combine the CFL and the NFL passing yards, because I'm telling you, man, you would just be enamored with how many yards Moon passed for. But that's another topic for another day.
I'm about to say, kind of going off what you said there, taking over the baseball, let's talk about like Ichiro. If you combine all of his hits in the Japanese league,
absolutely.
He had I think it was 5,000, something insane, way more than the hits than Pete Rose had. But like I said, that's another topic for a different day. Let's see what our boy Brandon said. Vic and Sanders or Cam and Bo?
I think what he's saying is it's kind of like the same thing, basically.
Okay, yeah, I see it. Yeah, because I mean, look, both of those guys are great quarterbacks. Vic had more of a cultural impact, I believe, just because, like I said, he was one of the first kind of dual threat quarterbacks before it became especially popular like it is now. Because back when Vic was playing, there wasn't many Kyler Murrays or kind of Josh Allen type of players that could run also. It was mostly like the Bradys, the Brett Favres and all that would just kind of stand in the pocket and just throw the ball for 50 yards. But Vic could do it all, though. I mean, just his speed.
And I think what he's also saying, though, about that situation is the similarity of Vic and Cam is almost the same as the situation for Cam and Bo. Or Vic Sanders and Cam and Bo. What?
Mm-hmm.
Sanders, Cam? Okay, I see what you're saying. I think he kind of lost me on that question a little bit, but I think but those two scenarios do have something in regards to. Look, Vic had his dog scandals, so he lost a lot of years out of the NFL.
He did, yeah.
Kind of like it's kind of like Cam had a full career because he's still playing, so he's had a full, solid, long career. Whereas Cam had a career, a hiatus. And then he came back for the second half of that career, and then he left.
With the Eagles, I think Steelers as well.
Eagles, I think I want to say it was Eagles. I don't know if he played. I think he did play with the Steelers.
Yeah.
The thing about
it is really memorable, but
could you imagine if that dog scandal in the ring had never happened? Where would Vic have gone with the Falcons? Would he continue?
They might not have they wouldn't have drafted Matt Ryan.
That's right. That's true.
And we've seen how since they drafted Matt Ryan, he's been their best quarterback. Because he's been there, because whenever Vic got arrested, they had some backup in there to, I think, finish the season or for like 1 year before Matt Ryan. And then they got Ryan, I think, 07 or 08, that draft. And he's been there ever since.
But what do you think? How much better do you think Vic would have been? Like, how much more of a polished, complete quarterback do you think Vic would have been had he not had those issues?
I think a lot more, because that's the thing, is that he was still in his prime when all that happened. That was 05, 06 or something that happened. And so let me see here. So he started off in 2001. So he went away he didn't play in 07 and 08. He was 27 and 28 at that time. So those are his prime, like ultra prime years where you've had some years under your belt and you've been polished. But he just wasn't able to, because let's not forget, he was one of the most consistent quarterbacks also. He played in all the games. He played in 15 games in 02, 04, 05, 06. And he had some amazing numbers. He threw for 2,000 yards 3 straight seasons before he had to go away. He had 20 touchdowns in 06, 15 and 05. And that Falcons team, they had some good pieces too. Remember, they had like Roddy White, I believe, was there. Algie Crumpler. I'm trying to do best.
Algie Crumpler. I remember that guy.
Yeah.
I thought the first name was always kind of crazy. Algie.
Yeah. Warwick Dunn too. Warwick Dunn. Their running back, he was good too.
Warwick Dunn was good.
Lincoln Sanders is unstoppable. No dog scandal. He would have been MVP and gone to 1 Super Bowl.
I mean, I can see that.
MVP, but I don't know about the Super Bowl. Just because that Falcons team, it was good.
Hey, just because it's Atlanta, and Atlanta doesn't they always have the worst luck ever.
I'm going to say, look, Terry, I know the Super Bowl and all, but I couldn't handle that heartbreak as a kid, man. I couldn't do that. But at least when they lost in 16 or 17, I was a little bit older, but let's see, Vic backup might have been Matt Flynn. I don't remember who it was. Because when he went away, it was just like a random quarterback.
Matt Flynn was with Green Bay for a period of time.
Yeah. God, I gotta look it up, man. I forget who it was, but it was some dude that was there just a placeholder for Matt Ryan. That was all it was. And I mean, heck, they only had that one because I know they were pretty rough that season. I know that. But okay, let me see here. 2000. Here it is. Joey Harrington, Chris Redmond, and looks like Byron Leftwich started 2 games for them. So yeah. So that's who their quarterback was whenever Vic.
Joey Harrington, remember that guy?
Yeah, he was hyped coming out of college. He went to
he was so hyped, and then he just
Oregon. Yeah, Oregon. He was a Heisman finalist, Heisman finalist, and then that was it.
His NFL career was just horrible.
Well,
Not as bad as Ryan Leaf. Ryan Leaf still has the worst career ever at the quarterback position.
When you start with the Lions, your career is already at a downhill.
Well, that's true, man.
He was there from 2002 to 2005, so that was already in a bad period for them.
Is it just me, or do you want? I would love to see Matt Stafford go to another team that had playoff potential, just so he could get a ring. That man is just going to waste his whole career and not have anything to show for it because
that's another dude we're going to be talking about in a couple of years once he retires of what could have happened if he was on a better team.
Yeah, because that guy, man, Stafford he was great. He just has a crappy team around him.
Yeah,
or I should say bad. I think Detroit kind of suffers like with the Jets and what the Bengals and all the rest of them suffered through. Because I don't think that ownership is quite doing what they're supposed to be doing to provide them with better leadership at the top.
Right.
Even Dallas is having a hard time with leadership, honestly. If you ask their players.
Yeah. All right, let me just look through the comments here and see if we're missing anything or see if anyone said anything. All right, I see Brandon said no baseball or wrestling. I mean, we could bring something up. I could always talk either of those.
I'm ready to go about baseball now.
Let's do it. All right, let's see. Who you got in the game 3 tonight? You got the Rays, the Dodgers.
Can you give me the quick who's pitching tonight?
Let me pull it up. Because like I said, this is off.
Because I know Morton. I believe Morton already. Jamarcus Russell is the worst quarterback. I don't know, man. Do you really think he was worse than Ryan Leaf? Ryan Leaf was pretty freaking bad.
Ryan Leaf I don't know. Ryan Leaf tried, but Jamarcus Russell didn't try at all. Because, I mean, there's a story where I think they said that, like, one of the coaches gave him a playbook or gave him, like, a tape to go study. He's like, all right, man, tell me what plays you saw. And it was a blank tape. So that tells you all you need to know about that era with Russell as the head of the Raiders. Let's see.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
Yeah. All right. Let me pull up the baseball here. Like I said, this wasn't playing. We're just going.
You know what? Here's the deal. I kind of like what Brandon Herrera said. Now, Brandon Herrera is going for the Rays. Here's the deal. I want the Rays to win the World Series. Mm-hmm. I want the Rays to win the World Series, and I would really like to see Arozarena take home the MVP trophy. Mm-hmm. Do you realize if he was to take home the MVP trophy, that's the first time in over 100 years of baseball that's ever happened?
Yeah. And let's be fair. Nobody knew who this guy was.
I mean, 100 years. Nobody's ever done it.
Nobody outside of Tampa or St. Louis, which is where he was, knew who this guy was going into the season. Let's just be honest with that. He has had a postseason to remember. Let's see. Remember Ponder T. Jackson, Joe Webb.
Ponder.
Oh, God. Yes. We're talking about the Vikings now? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Is that Tavarius Jackson?
Tavarius Jackson, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that name in a while. Wow.
Man, where's that dude? Is he working in a grocery store now? Where's he at?
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine. But back to let's keep it on track with the baseball. So I don't know. I think if the Rays are able to get their bats going, and if they're able to get keep hitting the way they did the last night, then it would be real impressive. Like I think they could get in with it.
Here's what I feel, man. I feel like the Dodgers ultimately are probably going to win only because of the fact of I feel like, yes, I understand the Rays have the second best bullpen. I get it. But their starting pitching for LA is just so much better.
Yeah, it is.
I believe they have a better pitching. And when you got a guy like Mookie Betts on your team, oh, hell no. Yeah. Not today. And I understand they got a Arozarena and they got Margot and Lowe finally has come out of his slump and now he's hitting. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like for some reason, I got you get that little sense in the back of your head and like that spotty sense and it's just like, man, bro, I know you want this team to win, but it's gonna be the Dodgers. Like I know you want the Rays, but it's gonna be the Dodgers.
Right. You're right.
I mean, we'll see, man. Hopefully, hey, we'll see what happens tonight. Tonight, hopefully the race. I want the race. Don't get me wrong. I want the race to win.
Yeah,
but
I'm
for
with you.
some reason, internally, I feel like the Dodgers are going to pull that game out.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll get the Dodgers winning tonight, but look, it's going to be a great series. I can't wait to watch it all. Look, man, we're almost on an hour, so we're doing good. I think we got everything wrapped up here. We got all of our debates out the way. I enjoyed having you on the Sports Corner, our first ever show together, Jay. We're going to have our boy Big Shaw coming on in a little while. Whenever he gets the chance to, we're going to love to have him on and talk some more sports. Jay, any final words? Anything you'd like to get out there?
Hey, other than just please like and share this content. Hey, can the Dodgers put the ball in Kershaw's hand again? I hope so. I don't see why they could. If it goes to Game 7, I hope it doesn't go Game 7. Hopefully, maybe the Braves can raise. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I can see that happening. But hey, it was a pleasure being here. And Brandon Herrera, appreciate you coming on.
Oh yeah, appreciate all the comments, guys. We had a lot. Brandon,
yeah, man. Hey, that was good. That was good. Brandon Herrera, you had some good topics last go around. You had some good ones this go around. Yeah, you're putting out some good stuff.
Yeah,
but other than that, man, hey, man, it was a pleasure vibing with everybody. And don't forget to like, share this content.
Yeah, man, like, comment, share. Also, thank you to our sponsor. Let me pull it up real quick. I can show you guys one more time. If I can find the thing real quick. Dang, where is it? Okay, here we are. Also, get one more shout out to Suzanne Paparazzi Jewelry, where all of our lead, nickel, all products, $5, a little bit pretty cheap. You can get some really good jewelry for a low price. Special offer for ASAP Sports viewers. Free matching earrings when you buy a necklace. Order now at paparazziaccessories.com, 160920. And also, guys, do not forget about our T-shirt giveaway. How would you like to get your own ASAP Sports Network T-shirt? Become the viewer of the month. Just watch our videos. Engage. Brandon Herrera, look, man, I got to say, you're leading the pack right now. You're going to get that T-shirt if you keep commenting the way you are and you keep engaging. Be sure to like our page, follow our page. Also, share it to any other groups that you guys follow. We'd love to, spread the word out there and let everyone know what we're doing. And if you guys have any topics you guys want us to cover, leave it in the comments, and we will be sure to cover it. For my amazing guest, thank you once again, Jay McLovin. Thanks for coming on the show, man. I'm your host, Logan Landers. Be sure to stay tuned to our Facebook page, YouTube channel for all the great content coming up. And we'll be talking to you guys very shortly. See you guys.